Okay, so today we're going to be focusing on finances and in marriage, before marriage, and even choosing a partner. You know, what am I looking for? We hear the phrase, what do they bring to the table? Man, woman, who? Well, everybody's bringing something to the table. But before we even go to that, there's something I've always wondered. This thing of marriage now, the way it costs a lot. Like, I'm thinking, I am glad that I married because it is so there's the pre-proposal, the pre-wedding pictures, the wedding pictures, it's
a lot of praise.
A lot of praise. Your name was joined, like
your hashtag.
Yeah, hashtag something.
Yeah.
Hashtag forever heart.
Yeah.
There's so much.
Yes.
And I'm going to come to you again because we thank God. Yes. Instagram cannot hold us back. But honestly, the pressure is a lot. I'm thinking, and every girl wants it because when you see it on Instagram, it's really nice.
It's nice,
and
yeah.
you want to be proposed to like that with your nails, ready for the ring. How are you coping with that pressure?
No, honestly, Miriam, the pressure is on. The social media pressure is on. And for me, it's almost like the focus now is on that marriage, that 3-day celebration. Some people, it's not even 1 week, the wedding rather than the actual marriage. So honestly, I'm so happy we're having this conversation because I would even love to hear, because now my friends are borrowing money from me to say, okay, can you lend me this? I'll pay you this. People are sending messages, you haven't contributed for my wedding. Yes. So, and I'm like, yes, you can be like a bad friend, like, okay. So really, where do we draw the line?
I'm going to come to you, Auntie Tochi, because this is so real. What she said about asking, first of all, the donations. So somebody's getting, before it was Ashoebi. We had to buy Ashoebi. Not just Ashoebi anymore. There's actually a pot. And it's like, okay, I'm the one marrying now, we do it. When it's her turn, we do it. I know as the money is going
social
up.
security.
So, yes. So
Marriage
all
security.
for the day. It's not like in those days where you had a registry for what will happen in your home, like buy me a TV. I'm saying for the day, And then we also have the fact that I have chosen to do my whole wedding thing in a particular, I'm not going to name names, but a hotel. So all my friends have to book rooms in the hotel. I'm not the one paying.
Yes.
You've got
They
to
are
pay.
paying. Yeah.
So there's a lot of costs involved in just the wedding day. And parents too are not exempt because the kids want to invite all their happening friends, and the parents want to invite their friends, their church members, their association members, and because my child, so it's a lot. Auntie Tochi, what's going on? How are we going to solve this? See, she's looking at you like, help me. It's a lot.
Well, let me say something. All of what you've enumerated, it's also a sign for me that you haven't quite chosen who and what you want to be. It's your marriage. Your marriage. You're setting up this unit of life. I guess from get-go, you should begin to set your goals and your ideals and let people know. You want to do a wedding, you should do a wedding that, to all intents and purposes, you should be fairly able to fund. I said fairly.
Fairly.
Okay. Because I'm not discounting help from family, well-meaning friends, but nobody should be tasked. Nobody should be put under pressure. Not you, not your bride-to-be, not her friends, not your friends. There's something that happens. If you don't start checking this, it has a way of expounding and becoming a large elephant. Tomorrow there will be a baby shower. There will be a honeymoon shoot. And these are the things putting people under pressure. It's unreal. It's unrealistic. Honestly, if you can afford it, fine. But then, is that a right way of investing good money? It's a one-day event. Marriage is for a lifetime, and bills are real. The bills would come. If you spend all the monies you're going to use to attend to some serious things down the road on a day's event, when that happens, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? So what I'm saying is that everybody in a way, is culpable.
Yes.
Bridegroom, friends, the Ashwebi Bella, their parents. It's a time to do a reality check. What's this all about? And often it also, what's the word I'm looking? It distracts the people from the main thing. There's a lot of distractions. My wedding gown must be bigger or better. My rock must be bought from Tunisia. My friend's own was bought from Angola. Wonderful to have your rock on your finger. But those are just tokens. Yeah. It's not the marriage. It's not the marriage. I wish people would focus more on the marriage and what life the day after would be. If you paid much attention and paid much premium to that, a lot more marriages won't be breaking up.
Exactly.
So that's what I think.
Okay, so we're going to come to finances in marriage. Mrs. R, I'm going to ask you. Before the I do's, how much of financial communication should we be having during courtship? Because I do know that it's glossed over. We don't talk about when we have kids, where will they school? Yeah. Where will we live? How will we cope? Where should we even live? The finances, how does it work? Sometimes we go into it and it works. Some people you're lucky that you kind of flow into a rhythm and, he takes this bill, he pays the big bills and I do the small things and it's a rhythm. But sometimes it's not a bit clear and then when you come in, it's more like, you're a banker, I'm a banker. Why am I doing 100% and you are putting your own in your pocket? It's like, but you didn't say anything before. My mom was taking care of, this conversation, sometimes 80% of the time we don't have those financial. How important are these financial communication before the I do?
Very, very important. So when we say, you don't want to encourage people to be materialistic, that's totally different from discussions about prudent living or your lifestyle. And we've talked about how much people spend on weddings. I think as Mrs. O has said, that's an indication of what you're going to do when you get married. She's really expounded on that. And so having a discussion about marriage, about finances, I think it's not so much as the numbers, as much as the value system. What is the plan? Financial planning. Because it's difficult to premise this discussion solely on counting resources. Because when you start, you may have started marriage and the two people have jobs. And 1 year, 2 years into marriage, they've lost their jobs, or one person has lost their jobs. So we're not premising it on the money at hand. It's more about what should this as values be? What is the financial planning? What should we spend? Categorizing, having a discussion on your income, proposed income to be generated. What are you going to invest in? What sort of schools will the children go to? You could say short term, medium term, long term. You don't necessarily have to cast it in iron, but have an idea where you are going. Because if you decide, for instance, the children are going to go to Corona, they are not going to American International School. There's nothing wrong with both schools. I'm just using them as examples. Then Corona determines how much you actually do. Find out, sit down and study where you are and where you want to go. Are they going to go to, why are you choosing Corona instead of AIS? What university do you see? What do you see? It may change along the way. It surely would, but you have parameters guiding you as a family. If we earn 1 million naira, what do we want to save? What do we want to invest? And I encourage people, please, no matter how meager your earnings, have a portion for savings and ultimately an investment plan. And delayed gratification is very important. Because when we discuss expenditure at weddings, you're not looking at the fact that you're spending, if you spend 80 million at your wedding and you wake up and that 80 million, all that was yours was 5 million.
Wow.
The rest of the 75 was beg, borrow, or grab. It means that you're really worth 5 million.
Yeah.
But you've already gone to live the lifestyle of
An
somebody who
80
has
million
80.
person.
The message it sends to people is they don't need assistance.
Yes. If they
Because
can do
I've
this.
already judged you
Yes.
on 80 million.
Yes.
So they don't need my help.
Yes.
And you start that marriage on resentment. Because if it's the husband who caused this, the wife is going to resent the fact that there's no money for food. You've already started on a wrong footing. And as she said, go and check the statistics. All these marriages on Instagram, how many have lasted 5 years? They don't post the
Aftermath.
on Instagram. So people like Nike should not be fooled or put under pressure by what you see. And I'm sure she's not. Clearly, she's a wise lady. But for a lot of people out there who may need this sort of advice, do what you can afford to.
Yes.
And that's where strength of character comes in. You don't owe anybody. But don't fight people in an attempt to do what you want. Keep your relationships, but subtle. Keep at what you believe in a friendly, amiable manner, and you'll establish that you're a person of principles.
I like the phrase financial values. What are your financial values? You know, you might not have it, like you said, all cast in stone, but there's a pathway, a direction that you are taking. And I'm going to now segue to you, Auntie Tochi. Auntie Tochi, joint accounts. Joint accounts, the age-old right, wrong. It works for some people, it doesn't work for some people. Some people say when it's a joint account, what is his is ours, what is mine. Or when it's a joint account and we're putting money together, some of the decisions he's making, I'm not agree with,
so
but because
in
it's the
with
head,
it. Yeah.
I have to sit back and take it, you know. Joint accounts is a big thing for marriages. What is your perspective on this? Is it we should have, or we shouldn't, or we should have a joint account and single accounts? You know.
Oh,
Just me, I like that part.
let me just say, money is huge in marriage. Money is huge. It doesn't matter the amount of romance. It doesn't matter. If money issues are not properly and carefully articulated, it can bring a strain. I've taken time to think about this money matter, spiritually, culturally. I'm a bit conservative about that. I believe it is the man's role to take care of his family, his wife, his family. Doesn't mean, like she says, the woman should just chill. There are things you should do. You are a help fit. You are a help fit. So there's no space for a woman saying, no, my money is my money. I don't believe in that either. So having said that, the money that accrues to the man by howsoever means, work, business, investment, also the woman, belongs to the family. So the big picture is that the money belongs to the family, husband, wife, and the immediates, and of course the people that come behind you. So I think a good thing to do is have that central purse. Agree. I bring this, you bring that. Agree. It will be the two people. Agree. It may be the woman who's bringing more. If she has the capacity. Agree. This is what I put into this big purse. And these are the things we are going to be doing out of this big purse. Don't say the chief of your village is sick, and as a Udo, you have to take money and from there so that your title remains. No. So what I'm saying, have that big purse. So whatever is left at the end of the day, if Nike wants long hair, she can plait long hair. Because that way she doesn't feel shortchanged in the marriage. She's still who she is. She still pursues her fancies. It's okay.
It's okay.
the man also is able to do his own thing from the balance. And that money we have put together, if we say it is for our children going to secondary school, ex-secondary school, let it be so. If we say it is for our family holiday, let it be so. And how we spend it, that way you find out that there are no surprises. Nobody is feeling any less than they are. And seasons do change. Some people say 50-50. It's not true. Some seasons is 80-20. Other times it's 70-30. But that agreement is what keeps the balance and the atmosphere healthy. Because money does bring tension, toxicity, both for the two people and everybody in that space. So that's my take.
Let me touch on the subject of money. Could take another 3 sessions. And it's okay to actually plan, because this is something that is the bedrock of marriages, and it's so important to marriages now. It's always been, but more so now. But I'd like to just touch on 2 things that she's mentioned. Starting with the fact that we've all agreed that, well, I also am of the persuasion that the men should be have the responsibility of caring for the household. So on that note, we're all in agreement. And it doesn't mean that the lady doesn't bring her own values to the table. And values extend beyond
money.
Financial as well as other values. Because some women who are homemakers will say, if you were to quantify
of course,
what I'm doing, oh my goodness, you should be paid. We won't be able to afford it. But also the fact that when the fortunes change. As Auntie Tochi has said, as seasons of life change, both people should be ready to make the adjustments. That is so key. Take people who had children abroad, and they've had to bring the children back home, and that's happening increasingly. It shouldn't be a reason for a family squabble. Communication, from what she's saying, is very important, and that communication should be constant. We'll touch eventually on sacrifices to be made to ensure that marriage and the home stays as a loving, caring unit that nurtures and provides the correct environment and atmosphere for children to be nurtured and their confidence not eroded. So a child returns from the UK or returns from Ghana. We should have a family discussion, husband and wife first. This is what is happening. We brought this child. Don't stretch yourself and try to keep that child in Ghana at all costs. Have an agreement, have a responsible communication, and analyze that this is where we are. But it is temporary. When you are in agreement, then the children can see that there's a united front, and then builds their confidence and gives them a soft landing in a crisis. So we've taken care of that. We are making the adjustments. The child is coming back to Corona. It's the way the parents and the confidence with which the parents handle these matters that leaves a lasting impression on the children. That child goes to Corona full of confidence. My parents have decided that this is the best place for me to be. One. And then the other thing that was raised about joint account. So I'm for joint account, but I'm also for individual accounts. You want that opportunity to be able to express your individuality without feeling that you're tied to signatures. But for legacy, people should not be the sole signatories to their accounts, especially at a certain age. You may want to put your daughter, your son, or your spouse, but you can still have the authority to administer that account, even though there's somebody else signature. All those things can be worked out by solicitors and all that. So that would be my addition to, and then we are dealing with issues where, to all intents and purposes, the marriage is amiable and everything is going well. But there would be opportunity perhaps to discuss how does it pan out if this is not the case. So,
and to add to what Mrs. R just said, I want to give a life example of actually myself. So I was in the corporate world at the time we got married. And, you know, year in, year out, then I had my son, busy, 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 busy. There came a point in time where I felt a peace where God said, it's time to leave you. And I was, by the grace of God, I was doing well, but God, I just had that peace one day to tell him, because, you know, again, in discussing finance, I said, my love, this is what I'm thinking. And he's very hardworking in terms of he has a discipline for work. And so I said, babe, this is what I feel in my spirit. I don't know. Immediately I told him, he said, please leave that place. Ah, God, thank you, Jesus. I said, so is this how you felt? He said, yeah, but I don't want to come across as if I don't want you to fly. But, you know, the kids, you know, our son is growing and is getting to a stage where there are more things in school one would need to be. And we've done so well in balancing, okay, are you free? Can you go? Am I free? Can I go? Things like that. But I won't lie, and then I see you when you come home too, you're really tired, and I want us to have our time, but then I want you to rest too. But I see the more you're progressing, the more it's taking time from us. So, my love, you have my full blessing to leave. And from there, I mean, we've now come into a season where, of course, we've grown our family as well. You know, another child came through, and I look at myself and I'm like, I thank God I can follow these kids. Our first son is doing so much in school, so there are many meetings and many. The second one too, but I am able to sit down with him, do his assignments, or teach him certain things. You know that no, this, but I'm hands-on. So I look at it that if I was in that corporate space, how will we do it? I would not be like, no, you know, I went last week, you have to go this week. Then it will now start coursing and you must stay again. So I want us to really look at life properly and understand that, yes, I'm all for, you know, female empowerment, as a wife, as a sister, as a career person.
All-rounder.
But then you're also a wife, you're also a mother. And these people too, their lives you need to nurture, as well as you fulfilling destiny. So we must always go to God to say, God, what season am I entering, or what season am I coming out of? It's a very
Priority.
It's
What's
a
the
very
priority?
real thing.
I think that note is where we're going to end it. What's the priority? Because finances is good and all of that, but
Yes.
what's the priority?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
every stage, I think it shifts. You know, when your kids are younger, you can be a homemaker.
Yes.
But you're older, the kids are probably off in body. You can go back to, you know. So
Yes.
what is the priority where you are sitting right now? Thank you so much. It's always amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for that last story, because it just ties it all together. Auntie Tochi, thank you. This joint accounting, thank you very much. Because some of us have practiced joint and single, so that when I want to do my hair, doesn't seem like I'm putting hand inside the, you know, hair. So thank you, Mrs. R. I'm so grateful that you let us share this space with us, with you, and allow us share this burden that you have, this calling, and give us the platform to also express this. We're so grateful. Thank you so much.
That honors mine, you see, because you can have a vision, and if you don't have people to share in the ideals you believe in, it wouldn't happen. I mean, I couldn't take your role or anybody else's, and it makes it, we're stronger together.
Thank you so much for sharing your time with us. We don't take it for granted that we took this part of your day. We do hope that anything we said, even if it's just one thing, has helped answer a question on your mind. And of course, if you have comments, put it down, and we'd love to be able to read through and of course answer in the next series. Subscribe to the channel so that when we have something new, you will be notified immediately. Thank you. My name is Marian. It's definitely been my pleasure and a total privilege being with you.